Should I move to Vietnam? People keep saying it's the most affordable country and maybe even the best place to live right now. So after 6 amazing years in Thailand, it was finally time. I decided to give it a try and to compare everything. Over the years, I visited Vietnam more than 10 times. But there are only 3 places where I can see myself living long term. At least, that's what I thought. Anyway, let's be brutally honest and see if the hype is actually real. Can you really get the same lifestyle as in Thailand but for less money? There is only one way to find out. Let's go. First, let's take a quick look at the 3 places I picked and why I chose them. For me, it's important to live close to the beach, but I also like having mountains nearby. I was looking for a place with lots of healthy food options, both local and western, cities with affordable rentals, good cafes with fast internet, decent gyms, good air quality, and because of 90-day visa runs, I needed an international airport nearby. A good hospital is always a must, and yeah, at least a small expat community, because socializing with locals in Vietnam is not that easy, at least not for me. And actually, there was one more thing I've been missing all those years in Thailand, and I wanted to see if I could finally find it here. I wanted to live in a place where I could actually walk or cycle to most places instead of having to jump on a motorbike every time I needed to go somewhere. Believe it or not, cities in Vietnam have much better infrastructure, so the chances were pretty good. Okay, now we both know what we are looking for. So let's finally check out the first city on my list. I'm sure you saw this one coming. Of course, it's Da Nang, or as people call it these days, the Miami of Asia. The first time I came here, I completely fell in love with this city. Back then, I didn't even want to make videos about Da Nang. It just felt too good to be true. But of course, it was only a matter of time before this city became a digital nomad hub. Yes, prices have gone up since then, but not just in Vietnam. So I would still say life here is incredibly affordable. If I had to compare Da Nang to similar cities in Thailand, only Hoi An and Pattaya really come to mind. But I believe that for most of the people, Da Nang is by far the best option. To be fair though, it does have a few major downsides as well. But let's start from the beginning. Standard expat studios and one-bedroom apartments usually cost between $250 and $500. Of course, you can also find some ultra-budget, local-style options, but away from the beach, around the river, or non-touristy parts of Sancha. If you're staying long-term, this is probably the best area for you. I chose this studio for $400 a month. This is basically the most popular area, only 5 minutes walk to Mike Beach. It sounds spoiled, but I just wanted to have everything nearby and to experience the best of Da Nang. There are so many amazing places to eat, from incredible local food to healthy Western options, and of course, some absolutely beautiful cafes. Here, every place has an English menu as well, which is actually quite rare if you're staying in a more local area. I'll show you later how that looks like, but in that case, try to learn at least basic Vietnamese. Otherwise, life can get a bit difficult. So for some amazing Vietnamese dishes, expect to pay around $2. Western style breakfast, if you choose something better and healthier, expect to pay between $3 and $5. Smoothies and protein shakes are usually not more than $2. You'll find some international cuisine options, but nothing crazy. A dish in mid-range restaurant would cost you between $7 and $12. Here you can chill at the most beautiful beachfront cafe, order their best coffee, pay around $3, and you'll even get a cozy sunbed for free. Honestly, do you know any other place where you can still get all of this? The beach is super long and incredibly wide, but what I like the most is actually this beachfront promenade, perfect for walking, jogging or cycling, with plenty of cafes, outdoor gym and just relaxed, healthy vibes. But no, this place is not perfect. But before we start with the downsides, let's first finish what we started. To explore the rest of the city, we rented a motorcycle 125cc for about $80 a month. But if you don't drive, you can explore almost anything using Grab. It's safe and affordable and pretty fun way to move around. The roads are wide and well maintained, and we saw traffic police quite often. The gyms aren't quite as good as the ones we use in Thailand, but for the price, you really can't complain. For most of us, they are more than good enough. And it's really easy to stay active here. No matter what sport you're into, you'll probably find a great place for it. Besides the beautiful beachfront promenade, there's also a lovely riverside walkway, which is a nice place to spend the evenings. Da Nang is a very safe city, and if something does happen, it's more likely to involve other foreigners than locals. These relaxed visa rules will surely attract more problematic people. But personally, I never had a bad experience here. I still don't feel comfortable leaving my stuff on the beach or on my motorbike as casually as I would do in Thailand. Okay, let me now show you the other two cities. They are much more peaceful and chill. Then we can talk about all the pros and cons. Life in Vietnam is definitely not easy and for everyone. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to support our small channel. Thank you. Let's leave the city behind and head to a much more peaceful place. Less than an hour from Da Nang, you'll find this charming little town called Hoi An. Let me show you around. On one side, there's a long sandy coastline with several beautiful beaches. The most famous one is surely An Bang Beach. On the other side, there's the UNESCO-listed old town, full of charming old houses, narrow streets, hanging lanterns, wooden boats drifting along the river, but of course, plenty of tourists. I know, that probably sounds like a big red flag, but wait until you see the next part. My favorite thing about Hoi An is everything in between. That's where you'll find endless rice fields, vegetable gardens, and narrow little roads that are perfect for cycling from cafe to cafe. There are also beautiful canals where you can try the famous coconut boat tours and so much more. There's a strong expat community here, good co-working spaces, plenty of yoga studios, and some really great wellness and recovery spots. Saunas, ice baths, and all of that. Hoi An probably has the best vegetarian food scene in Vietnam, but if you eat everything, you're gonna enjoy even more. Local food is really good. I could honestly talk forever about the cafes and restaurants here. Anyway, here you're gonna feel a strong focus on healthy living and spirituality. If you like places in Thailand like Koh Phangan or Pai, I'm sure you're gonna love Hoi An too. The town is also extremely pet-friendly, which is a nice bonus. Hoi An is a bit more expensive than Da Nang and most other places in Vietnam, but I have to say it's still affordable compared to Thailand's popular digital nomad hubs. And of course, if you eat like a local, you can save a ton. For example, this clam porridge, which is my favorite breakfast, costs less than $1. But now, stay tuned, cause we're gonna check the most affordable city I ever visited. Life here is not only cheap. This is the poetic, historic heart of Vietnam. From 1802 to 1945, this city served as the country's imperial capital. Wide tree-lined streets, plenty of greenery, countless temples, palaces, and gardens make it one of the most beautiful places to live in the country. If you love Chiang Mai and northern Thailand, but you would like to have a beach nearby without spending a fortune, this is a very good option for you. Welcome to Hue. You won't find many foreigners living here, apart from tourists. Located just about 2 hours north of Da Nang, it's mostly known as a popular weekend getaway. But this place seems to have it all, and I always wanted to try living here. So I finally arrived. I booked a cozy room for about $20 a night and started looking for a good place to stay long term. In Hue, the main attraction is this perfume river, with beautiful riverside promenades and well-maintained parks. This really feels like Europe. Thailand has much better beaches, but riversides are really disappointing. Okay, it's time to find a real place to stay. I found a couple of good apartments on Facebook Marketplace in some relatively new condo buildings. Here you can get 2-bedroom apartment for about $350. Pool, gym and Wi-Fi are included. However, this area is definitely not for me. It's very sterile and boring. There is a big shopping mall nearby, but not many local food options. So I found this smaller studio for the same price, but within a walking distance to the river. I also have a really good gym nearby with new machines, aircon and all of that. And did I mention that Hue is also known as the food capital of Vietnam? There are amazing restaurants serving both local and Western food. The prices are even lower than in Da Nang and Hoi An, much lower. Bun Bo Hue is the city's famous noodle soup, and it's absolute must try. That one was the Anthony Bourdain's favorite. It's insanely good. But my personal favorite, the one I could honestly eat every single day, was this snakehead fish noodle soup with homemade, hand-cut thick noodles. Here in Hue, I finally started feeling more relaxed in super local places like this.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
I barely speak any Vietnamese yet, but people here are so friendly and welcoming. I just pointed what I want, smile, and somehow they always manage to blow my mind. Food is definitely more healthier than in Thailand, and most of these dishes are not more than $1. The cafe scene here is one of the best I ever experienced. I guess that's why Hue feels a lot like Chiang Mai to me. The famous salted coffee was actually invented here and is probably my favorite Vietnamese coffee, even though it often feels more like a dessert than my regular ice americano back in Thailand. But it's easily one of the highlights of my day. Laundry in Hue is also incredibly cheap. It's almost 3 times cheaper than in Hoi An. I just drop off my bag of dirty clothes in the morning, and by the afternoon, everything is washed, dried, and neatly folded. What else can I say? I really love the nature here, and the riverside is honestly one of the nicest I ever seen. However, the beach is a bit disappointing and still fairly undeveloped, but the whole area is interesting and super local. Also, when it comes to dating and socializing, I don't think Hue is the right place, at least not yet. It's better for couples who work remotely and need something peaceful and affordable. Something like Chiang Mai 20 years ago. But I heard that Dalat city is even more beautiful. If you ever been there, please write me in the comments. Life in Vietnam is definitely not expensive. But what's the full cost of living in central Vietnam? I'm not here to teach you how to live cheap. I'm still a noob here and I don't speak Vietnamese yet. But I guess neither do you. So first couple of months, most of us should stay in these expat bubbles. I can live in Da Nang well and really comfortable under $1,000 a month. If you want to live by the sea in one of Thailand's popular expat hubs like Hua Hin, Phuket, Samui, you'll have to pay much more. Hoi An is slightly more expensive but still under $1,000 a month. And if you learn to enjoy local food, get comfortable riding a scooter and find a place outside the touristy areas, I'm 100% sure that you won't need to pay more than this. I know, you'll still need to do visa rounds every 90 days, but flights around Southeast Asia are cheap. And honestly, I don't mind spending a couple of days in Bangkok every now and then. But if you're planning to stay here for many years, that can definitely become a big pain in the ass. Now, which city should you choose? Da Nang is probably the best choice, especially for digital nomads, people who like fitness and active, healthy life in a modern city by the beach with a big international community. Hoi An is ideal for artists, entrepreneurs, retirees, if you love yoga, wellness, and just that slower pace of life, surrounded by beach and beautiful nature. Something like Pai and Kopangan blended together. Hue is a good choice if, from some reason, you want to be far away from other foreigners, maybe you're an introvert, or just working on a big project, you'll surely find here peace and inspiration. It's also the best place to experience a real local life. People here are super friendly, and the food, like I said, the best in Vietnam. But before you make any decision, there's another side of the story you need to know. I won't go into too much details here. I'll make a separate video once I get more real-life experience. But for now, there are a few things that I find quite challenging, even though I spent years living in Thailand. So let's start. The first thing you should be ready for is the weather. Last year, Vietnam was hit by almost 20 typhoons and tropical storms. So from around September to January, expect grey, cloudy days, heavy rain, flash floods, red flags at the beaches, and really crazy humidity. Mold is a big problem here, even in brand new apartments. But before the rainy season arrives, the heat is absolutely brutal, even worse than in Thailand. From May to August, you'll do most outdoor activities either early in the morning or late in the afternoon. And by early, I mean really early. After 8 a.m., it can already feel unbearable for many people. But don't worry, waking up early won't be a problem. Sooner or later, no matter where you live, there'll be some construction nearby. And if it's not drilling, it will be traffic, karaoke, loudspeakers, ban bao guy, or something else. Like for example, morning party. It's just a different culture. People here are much louder and you'll have to embrace it if you want to live here. I mean, let's be real. These people are just unbelievably amazing. If this is already overwhelming for you, wait until the morning rush hour. Anyway, let's continue. Vietnam only opened up to tourism in the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's not like in Thailand. Don't expect developed beaches or tourist infrastructure once you leave the cities and start exploring the coastline. Nobody will speak English, the menu will be just in Vietnamese, petrol stations won't have good toilets, or any stores like 7-Eleven and similar. It's hard to find decent cafes to chill or accommodation. In general, hygiene standards are not that great, but you'll have to adjust and to stop overthinking. Personally, I never had any food poisoning, and eating local food is one of my favorite things about life here. Smoking in public was another unpleasant surprise after living in Thailand. But coming from Serbia, where smoking is still pretty insane, I can't say it bothered me that much. Even so, I'll definitely be happier if people smoke less. Of course, same as in Thailand, they also like to burn things. Dry leaves, trash, and all of that. However, one good thing, they use much less plastic cups and straws compared to cafes in Thailand. Here is much harder to get the local driver's license, which is maybe a good thing. In Thailand, you get it legally in only 2 days. Also, everybody wears helmets, and they're obviously more skilled than drivers in Thailand. But like I said, driving here is much more intense and mentally demanding. I've been riding motorbikes for years, but here everything feels so much more stressful. It's super loud and annoying, and most of the time with absolutely no reason. When it comes to healthcare, it's good to be located in a bigger city. Public hospitals can be messy and overcrowded, so you'll probably end up using private ones instead. That's why having a good health insurance is a must. The one I'm using costs only $60 a month. You can find all the links in the description. It's not easy living here as a foreigner, but Vietnam is definitely one of the most authentic, beautiful, and interesting countries I ever visited. It's developing incredibly fast, and you'll probably be surprised how modern some things already are. Yes, as a foreigner, you'll probably pay certain things a little bit more. Despite extremely tough history, people are so lovely and country is incredibly safe. But every day here feels like a new adventure, full of little side quests, and honestly, I'm already feeling a bit mentally tired, mostly because of traffic and the constant noise. Every new beginning is hard, but I'll tell you how I feel right now. This experience just made me appreciate my life in Thailand so much more. For Vietnam, you don't need any long-term visa at the moment. You can do visa runs every 90 days over and over again. So it's a better option if you're still trying to figure out things and planning to live on a super low budget. However, there are many reasons why I love Thailand so much more. You'll find out why in my next video. Thank you so much for watching till the very end.